Hello, and welcome. I didn't know today when if we were going to do another journal with me this week. This is our second week in January, and we are second journal with me this week. And this is Jolene with a Jewel Design, and we are going to see if we can attempt something new today, or new-ish for me. When you saw me, hopefully Tuesday, we revealed the newest journal, right? Woohoo! I'm filming ahead, so this may be sold. You'll have to take a look at the video to see if it says sold or whether it's still out in my shop. But this was the lovely Vintage Rose journal that I revealed on Tuesday that I have finished. It is Vintage Rose. It has a hint of Valentine's. It's great for January and February. But as I've taken inspiration from Laurette and from Laurette Chandler, Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah, Gail Gustinelli, we all sort of finished December and we're going into January with the assumption of use it up. Use up your stash. Use up what you have so we can make room for new digitals, new scrapbook pads, new things. So we can continue to shop at all our favorite shops because we finally ran out of stuff. Or we have something we really want to do and someone happened to create it, so we're going to go purchase it. But at this point, a lot of us have a lot of things. And I personally, as I mentioned on Tuesday, I have all these printouts that I use to preview the kits for you guys on my YouTube channel. So what am I going to do with them? So my goal this year is to make, one or two journals every couple months, make folios, make ephemera, try to use up whatever sort of seasonal throughout the year with what I have. So today we are taking inspiration from Laurette, from Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah, from Amy at Crafty Cat, and Gail from, Gail Gustinelli. I have all these red envelopes from previous Christmas and Valentine's. And Laurette had just finished a double envelope journal. She used she covered junk mail envelopes and made it a double journal by using the envelopes as sort of double covers. And I have these gorgeous red envelopes. I have 4 of them, and we're going to put them together. And I don't have enough papers to make a double journal without making it really thin, which, what's the point, right? So I have enough digital papers and enough eco dye papers to make a single journal in the middle, and then we're going to make different style pockets on the outer 2 envelopes. So we're going to do a full-blown Valentine envelope journal and ephemera holder, because I have a bunch of ephemera. We're going to keep filling it in, but I'm going to make double pockets on the outsides. So most of the time in some of the journals that we see, both Laurette and Gail both do it, where you have pockets that come outward and you tuck stuff in from the outside. I was thinking about doing more my angles on the inside, but I also was debating on doing bottom squares and clear pockets. Now Laurette just finished. She showed off Monday or Wednesday of last week. She was showing off the envelope, vanilla envelope, little single fold ephemera holder. She did a bunch of paper stamped ephemera pieces that are ready for layering, and she had put down clear pockets and stuffed all her favorite ephemera into it so she could easily access them. So I figured when these were covered, we had some decorative pockets and we had some clear pockets, because I do have a lot of little pieces that I would love to just shove in here, and you could have a full-blown journal with all the ephemera pieces that you could then decorate the inside section of the journal as you saw fit. So instead of sitting here and waiting forever and trying to get it done, you sort of get a journal ready to go, but open for you to decorate as you see fit. So we're going to do this, and I'm going to go through the day. It may be a full-hour journal with me today. But I'm going to see, you're going to have to see a lot of editing in the video. We're going to work on a section and I'm going to pause it and I'm going to get the work done, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to walk through the important stuff with you guys as I go through it. So we actually get maybe something well accomplished today, instead of just sort of, I put a cover on, I glued a piece of paper on, and then if anything really major comes up or something fun, we'll extend that journal with me into the next week. If I'm really decorating up some ephemera pieces, or I found a little insert or something different I want to add to this. But I want to get this out to you guys as soon as possible for February, so that you have it in time to journal in it all of February, being that it is Valentine-based, definitely Valentine-based. The other one had a hints of maybe love and Valentine's. This one is full-blown my Valentine pages from my Amour kit, the journals, any coloring I do, all the ephemera that I didn't put in the other one that is definitely Valentine based, we're going to use. Okay, so this is definitely a shout out to Laurette and Tina and Gail and Amy, who I watched pretty extensively, and I definitely get a lot of my ideas from them, and I'm going to combine a combination of everything I've seen from them into this new journal. But the biggest inspiration is from Laurette and her double piece. So, as you can see, I am using a number of things. We are going to use the Basic Collage number 2 kit to coat the inside pocket areas and pages that I need to cover up. We're going to use the Amour Journal Kit papers that I have that I did not use in the other kit, along with, I already have it, I have them backed with a pink distressed, and we're using pink Eco Dyed, and I don't remember what she used on the, was it blueberries or, I don't remember what they were. I got a combination of them from Just Crafted by Gigi. I'll put her link in there, but she occasionally does Eco Dyed packets. And so I got a bunch of papers from her, which was awesome. And then anything else I feel I can pop in here. But I think we're about 40 pages, 40 halves, or 40 sides in what I have right here. So that is awesome to work with. And the front cover is going to be a combination of cutouts, this luxury stack that I got forever ago. I don't even know where from. Probably from Michael's. I just don't know how long ago I got it. But it has this great metallic glow to it, and it's going to be the front cover. It's big enough for me to fold, where I can really cover the front and make it really stout because it's a thicker scrapbook paper. It's not double-sided, but it's definitely more cardstock. We're going to use that to really sort of thicken up the cover of the envelopes. And then I found, what did I find? I found some fun papers that are double-sided, which makes it a little hard to journal on. Like that one you can journal on. That one you could layer on, if you could layer on these. So I haven't decided if I'm going to use them to make pockets out of them, or whether I'm going to put them in the book as more just decorative pages. But I hate to put too much decorative. I really want you guys to have the room to write, but also the room I guess to decorate. To put your belly bands, all the things I'm stuffing into the book, in the ephemera holders, I want you to have those pages. So we'll see where this turns out. I love how it's not for the front because it's really fancy and luxurious, as they say, but these are great additions to the inside of the book. So we'll see how those pan out, but I'll have to make a decision before I sew everything in. And we're just going to get through this. So, hopefully if you watch me, I'm assuming you watched Laurette, because you had to have come from Gail or Laurette to watch me. A few of you found me on my own, but most of you watch Gail Gustinelli, and then you watch Laurette, and then you trickle down to me. And I appreciate that you are willing to still trickle down all the way to me. So this is going to be the inside cover because it's the most decorative, and this is going to be what sits inside the book before you get to the journal pages. The rest of these are going to be just areas where I have a lot of collaging and not so much the little girl. And we're going to cover the inside pages before we decide however we want to pocket it. We may pocket it more vibrant. We may pocket it clear, angled, whatever. But all I did was took 4 of these things, 4 of them, and I tucked them inside each other. Okay. So in this case, this is tucked into here, and this is just going to get glued down flat. Okay. Then, in the same aspect, stuck this one into here, but I'm going to take this back flap to just sort of make it a little more hardy and make sure that there's no text showing anywhere. We're going to stick that back flap and we're going to glue it to the inside of the back one. So in some ways, they're very ready to go. Now, the only difference may be, before I start gluing too much down, is that I'm going to want to glue the inside pages, get the pages for the journal done and sewn in, and then I will glue this down to the inside of this one. Oh, I was trying to debate, do I want to glue it in and then, so I'm debating on whether to sew the signature into the inside ones and then glue them down. So that way there's I don't want to see the string this time around. I just don't know whether to go. I haven't decided yet what's the best way to do this. I'm thinking it needs to be sewn through all the layers so that it's really stout and it doesn't move around. And then we'll cover the outside. And then we'll cover the inside. And then, so I'm definitely going to have to make the journal first in this case. And I'm going to sort of glue it down in sections as we go. But I definitely think at this point, we're gonna sew it all the way through and then cover it. So we're gonna get through the gluing. Let's glue this all in place, and then we're just gonna sew it in. So that way I know that we're gonna glue it in place. We're gonna cover the sides, so I know all is good, and then we'll sew in the signature. That way I know that I've got it covered. The journal's not in the way when I'm trying to cover pages. And we're not doing, the only thing we're going to do a full cover on is the front. I'm going to make sure we cut the scrapbook paper to match the length and the width of the envelope perfectly. But because these are larger than my papers, I cannot, and because there's like Laurette had mentioned, once you trim all the white off, there you can see the background. So she went ahead and did the coffee dyed paper and then laid her digitals more centered over the top and wrapped it around as she saw fit. In this case, I want to make sure I have enough of this. This is the only one where I'll trim it and it will go across the middle, which is another reason why I have to do this before I put the signature in. This one, we're going to trim around it. We're going to center it on the envelope the way I want to, and we'll do the ragged trimming. We'll center it, we'll glue it down, score it. And then the other sides will just be a perfect, we are going to do half sheets, scored edges, and we're going to center it on each section. So we will see the red around the edges. You just won't see any writing. So we'll see the red. We'll distress this so that it's a little darker. We'll put the pages right on, the collage pages right on top, and that will give us what we're looking for. So I will do a little gluing right now while I'm chit-chatting with you. And then I'll pause and I'll go back and I'll do what I need to do, and then I'll come back in, show you what I did, go on to the next step, sort of walk you through what I'm doing without a whole lot of hemming and hawing. That way we get as much as we can done. So I'm hoping, I know I'm so worried, did I do this right? Am I going backwards? Now I am to make it easier, I'm going to glue down all these flaps. I'm going to make sure that there's not a whole lot of fluff and a lot of movement. So when I glue down the pages, I don't get weird bubbles. I'm not getting weird ordeals. Mom does this most of the time. I know Tina's big on nope, we don't need it, so let's just glue it down. But yeah, those 4 ladies I mentioned are huge inspiration for me. Now here's the fun part. Let's do that separately. I watch Amy at Crafty Cat, Gail at Corsica Gustinelli, my mom, Laurette, Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah. They just, they're my 4 favorites. I slowly started picking up on more of Tatty Treasures. I see a lot of her Instagram, so every once in a while I will go watch her YouTube channels. I don't have a lot of time, with the kids and the homeschooling and all that, but when I do, I love watching them, and I try to watch as much as I can of them, and then it definitely allows me, normally I can watch just enough where I get the inspiration. So I'm going to be, like I said, I'm doing, my mom's two envelope or double envelope covered journal. I just don't have 2 journals. I don't have enough to do 2 journals. So I figured if I did one and then took on her and Tina's fun ephemera holder ordeals, that would give me a second use to this book and gave some freedom to you guys to sort of finish decorating as you want. Maybe you don't have the papers for a Valentine kit, or you have a bunch of Valentine ephemera left over, or I don't know. There's things we all have, and I just did what I didn't want to do. So no biscuit. I was going to tuck that in, and I glued it down. I don't think I can get in there. I'm like, shoot. I really wanted to tuck this one into here so it would stay put. And it's glued down. Yay for... shoot. Okay, well, that's why things get covered. I still need to cover it, but I'm now gluing this down to the page instead of tucking it in and then gluing it down. See? I did need to glue this down to here, but not the flap down to it. And since I'm gluing flaps down and not, say, underneath the flap, I didn't catch myself in time. Shoot. Darn it. Hopefully I'm in camera this whole time. Here I'm goofing around and, Yeah, it was fine. Okay. Didn't know where I was going. So, I probably doing this backwards. It's probably supposed to be the other way. I'm probably supposed to be gluing the underside of the flap, of the envelope, you know, flap part, and tucking it in. I'm doing it the other way. I am gluing these flaps to this instead of this to the bottom or inside of the envelope. But that's me, which is where I made my mistake. But oh well. So sometimes it happens when you got new experiences and new issues, and you're trying to figure out what to do with it, right? I mean, it still all works. It still does its job. It's just you make your boo-boos. But that's okay. Sometimes I just like getting that glue over the edges. It sort of seals things in. It's not Mod Podge, but sometimes I treat it like it is. All right. Well, it is what it is, right, ladies and gentlemen? Well, what are you going to do? Sort of why, too, some of the grunt work I'm doing today, you know, I'm trying to do sort of off camera and then come back and talk to you about what I did so that I don't keep making these mistakes. Ugh. Because I don't. I forget. I don't remember. I mean, I'm still, as much as I try to prep and look things over and, you know, eyeball what I'm doing, I still don't. It's like I do it in my sleep. So, yeah. And of course, sewing the journal in is going to help keep these guys together. I could attempt to sew it and then cover it, but my sewing machine has been a little finicky lately. And so I'm really not in the mood to take a chance with that and then find out like I rip pages or I don't get it lined up right. That would just make me so sad. That, you know, I am unable to, you know, salvage it, and then I just did all that work for nothing. So we don't want to do that. That is something I don't want to do. I hate wasting stuff. So the whole point is waste not, want not, or want not, waste not. Waste not, want not, I guess. I want to use what I have, not to go, well, that was a bust, and throw it all away. And see, I still missed the lining on that one. I did not get it over in time. All right. Hard part is figuring out where to put it. There we go. We'll do it that way. Let's make sure it folds right. With everything going on, we don't want any more bulk than necessary. We want to make sure it folds down right. I am so glad I bought a new little, what are these, are 8 ounces? I think I bought it, oh, this is, yeah, the 8 ounce. I guess I bought a new 4 ounce just in case I got into the holidays and I couldn't get any more. All right, so now I think we're all laid down for the most part to make it easier for all the things. But look, see, I'm using 4 envelopes. I have 2 other smaller red ones, and I'll probably make something smaller. I think maybe around not Valentine's, Mother's Day, I may use the red, oh, shoot. The red, I don't know if you heard that or not. I forgot to turn off the Do Not Disturb, and my hubby is trying to get a hold of me. That's all right. I may use a smaller one to do the red roses and purple roses out of the Mother's Victorian Rose Kit and make something, a little small journal out of that for Mother's Day. That would be really fun to do for you guys and see if someone can put that to good use. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so this is all folded down. Woohoo, it's all glued down. We have our double envelope journal set up. Journal will go in the middle. Pockets, you know, collage pages and pockets of different sorts will go on the outside flaps. Put all the ephemera in. That's either basic to use for decorating or decorated up to help you place wherever you want within the journal and go from there. So I'm going to pause it up. I'm going to get the pages prepped and ready to go. All the cutting and all the distressing and stuff around the edges. And I'll come back and we will glue those pages into place, right? And we'll have the journal pages cut, trimmed, ready also. So you can see how that looks as we go and sew that into place. So I'll be back for you guys in just a few seconds. Be right back. All right, so as you can see, I have cleared off my workspace so that we don't get any more glue on that wonderful fabric. And I went ahead and cut up all my collage pages to fit the 8 1/4 tall by about 5.5 inches wide. And we are going to let a little bit of a red border show up on each one of them. Some are a little tight, and I'm going to have to really keep an eye on them. So that red border does show somewhat evenly. It does unnerve me when I can't do what I want to do. So I thought I'd just zoom through this. You could see me put it together, but I did try to go ahead and distress the edge of the envelopes to make them a little darker. Sort of hard to tell in this video, but it is there, and I'm going to do my best to line up the pages, which I decal cut around the edges with the Tim Holtz, and distressed, I would say distressed, but inked the edges of the papers, so when you look at it up close, it gives a little bit more of a vintage feel and not such a brand new printed page. But when I was distressing or inking the edges of the envelopes, I was using the back of these pages to sort of help with my press and ink issues. Luckily, like I said, this is the back of the pages, so no one's going to see it. So using my handy glue stick, try to get things laid out so you could see just sort of how I decided to, and reason why I decided to do this. So the front flap is done. Trying to get it glued down. I'll probably go back with glitter glue when necessary, when the edges don't do what I need them to do. But for the most part, this was just more time consuming than anything. Yeah, a few spots I started gluing down and then decided that probably best wait till the end to see how everything dried out. And we'll continue to keep an eye on it. But as I add layers, hopefully things will, all be pressed down and do their job. And I still have to decide which way to do those pockets. Now in the middle, I was going to make it one big piece and I was going to fold it in the middle. But the problem was I noticed that the journal was going to go smack in the middle and totally cover up the cute little couple. So plus it was going to leave a really large red gap on each left and right side, and I didn't like that idea either. I figured I'd rather have the gap in the middle where the journal would be hanging out. So cut them a smidge more narrow because I trimmed everything first and then had to cut them straight, right down the middle in half. So they are a little more narrow than the rest of the pages, but since it is sort of that inner book cover look, like the inside of a book, hardback book cover, we can have it veer off to out to the outside a little bit and be a little more narrow. And it's decorative enough on its own that, I'm loving the fact that these aren't going to be blocked by much more than just a few, just the papers until you open it. Again, I'm one where, yes, a glue book is awesome, but if I'm going to be gluing down onto it, I will use the whatever I'm gluing a paper onto as sort of my overhang. It's a little extra glue on the backing of those pages, helping catch the middle. So I really always, I don't have a problem trying to glue, especially with a glue stick, right onto the area that I'm going to be gluing onto. So as I'm adding glue to the back of a paper, I'm literally overshooting the runway with, whatever I'm backing it onto. Here you can tell a little bit more in the top left and top right, or top left and right corners of the left side paper, where I may have, distressed and inked the envelope some more. I just tried to see if I could make it a little older, a little darker, so it wasn't such a bright red, which, yeah, my camera is definitely picking up on the red as a very bright. Everything doesn't look that bright to me when I'm working on it, but the camera is definitely, at least on my view when I'm recording all of this, definitely picking up a brighter red. So we'll see. We may have to keep inking just a little bit more around the edges as I finish up. I may take another swipe at it before I put the cover on to see if I can get the outer edges just a little darker. But for the most part, things seem to fit in. I had plenty of papers to work with. I took the more, definitely simpler pages and laid it out. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We have the basics done. I'm just going to try to fix all the edges so that I know everything's glued on pretty good. Where the flaps overlap and there's a gap of air, I know the pages didn't quite stick down as well. But we'll continue to fix that. I'll make sure before it goes out the door that it is as glued down as it could possibly get. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I love how this looks. The more I look at it, the more I play with it, as you see throughout the video. I'm really enjoying all that it has to offer. Okay, so we've got all the pages covered. And it's sort of cool in its own right? It's a little red compared to the burgundy that's in there. But I was going to give it a nice contrast, I think, some fun in there, because we do put some burgundy red pages in the book. So we're going to pull from all the different reds. We're going to pull from the burgundy and the pinks. The cover is definitely going to lend itself to a little bit more pink in the end. But yeah, I realized I didn't really want to block the girl. I didn't want to completely do this and have the signature right between the two of them. You couldn't even see it, and it was going to leave such a gap. I didn't want to do it. So, okay. So now here's the book. There are a number of pages here, but there are 34 physical writing pages, sides to work with. 34. That's not including like the inside of this one or the ability to do some bullet journaling or quick quotes or whatever you want to do, quick little synopsis on some of the decorative pages. Because of the lighter backgrounds, there is so much work. Now this, it's more decorative, but you could write on that. That's what makes it 34 is this cream page right here. This is not counted, but you could, no, this one's counted. This one I feel you still have plenty of room in here to work with. That's just decorative. That one I didn't count, but you could write on it if you wanted to. Okay, this is counted because there's all this space here with a great pen. This is just fun. Okay, now this is the middle. Now, this is like page 16 or 17 and 18 type of deal. It's a little far in for day 14, 13, 14, or 14, 15 out of a 28-day book because February is only 28 days. But you could try to predate these and then make this your Valentine spread. Like, and because I did not distress down the middle, I didn't ink down the middle, it can be a nice continuous amount of writing right here. Or if you have an anniversary this month or something big, this is a great page in the middle of the book to do the memory keeping on that page. But you go all the way back. So there's a lot here. There's plenty to write on. You have plenty of room to continue to decorate, add more pockets, add the ephemera, whatever you want to do, right? So there's definitely that. And that's going to go right here in the middle. And look at that. Just sitting here. It sticks out. And I made sure I scored, down each page to try to make it as thin as possible. So here's where we're at. Next is to sew this in. I can't think of anything else to add to it. I think we're okay. We're going to keep it basic so we can then add on top of, or, you have the room to add on top, add the room to decorate as you see fit. My goal is to give you everything you need to do so. But there are going to be some pieces. I have a stash over here. This is my stash of supplies, right? Papers, leftovers, things to turn into really cool ephemera, decorative pieces. The three, we're going to do this one. That's going to go in a pocket. There are going to be decorated pieces that you can leave in the side pockets, or you can glue down, make more pockets on pages and have decorated ephemera. That is a goal. And that may be next week. I think that's what's going to happen is that the cover and possibly the extra ephemera, the really decorated ephemera that's going to go in these pockets, are going to be a journal with me next week. Just as something to work on that we worked on. Whether this may all be done and you may be seeing it after the fact. But I'm assuming next Thursday may be a fun journal with me of ephemera again. Of just the ephemera pieces, the extra fun pieces that we're going to be putting in this book. And then I started collecting all the pieces I wanted to work with, of course, for the journal's cover. We have the pearls, we have tea dyed, or eco dyed fabric, stencils, florals. I have an applique that I want to put on there. I have ribbon, glitter, and pearls, and all kinds of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. But we'll definitely do the cover last to make sure everything else is in play. Everything's doing what it wanted to do, and I'm not going, oh my god, why did I do that? So I think this piece down here, we're going to cut it. We're going to make a groove in it. It's going to be one of my big pockets here in the front. There was a bigger section of this, and I didn't want to cover it up, so I thought I'll make it a pocket on top of the journal, make it worthwhile, right? And I have other pieces. So these pieces may be collage on collage, so they sort of blend in. Some of my pockets may blend right in, but we may border them, we may doily, we may decorate up. So they're usable pockets, but they don't stand out so much that we're like, oh my gosh. And then of course we want the clear. I definitely think I want, at least on the outer cover pieces, I think, we're going to do 2 clear pockets for all the itty bitty ephemera that I don't use. Anything I don't use to design with, I will put like the labels, the floral fussy cuts, little, tags or the little stuff will go in those pockets that I don't use. So that you have them to do. And then I found these die cut cardboard hearts that I'll try to paint and use them for the cover. So I have all these great ideas. So we won't spend too much time, of course, on the camera, I'm afraid. I will do bits and pieces of it. So you can see, I'll do all the prep work again and make sure you can see, what we're up to. So here we go. Here's the basics. here's where it lends itself to. Let's go ahead and get this signatured in. Well, I jibber jabber with you guys for a few minutes, and then we'll probably call it a day. Now it seems weird, but I will then go ahead and like prep and record and get other things ready and make sure I got them where I want them, and then you know we may snoop right back in for more things. But let's see. So I hope you're all doing well. I can't believe this is going to be up on the. Oh my goodness, I think I've lost track. I am a little ahead of schedule. I'm actually recording ahead quite a bit. Just because you see, I have these things in front of me and I want you guys to see them. So this is being aired hopefully on the 20th. Yeah, the 20th of January already. My life is a little crazy and we're getting through it, but because that's crazy, I have this energy. I have this chaotic energy that is just... it needs an outlet, and so I'm crafting with you guys. I am getting journals done. I'm using up my stash because sitting and designing digitals right now is a little hard. I have a hard time sitting down right now and just staring at a computer screen, especially when I do it for my daughter. You know, we have to get her through her school, so I homeschool, so I'm looking at the computer there. So then sitting down again to do digital work is been a little daunting, I guess. It's not the energy I need to use. Yeah, I did do the Valentine pieces. I've released, by the time you see this, I did release the distressed paper pack in a number of colors. I'm gonna do, if I can, I'll do about 12 colors. Maybe we'll do a 12-page pack, 12 paper pack, so that you have it for, you know, the 3 colors I always use, and then some more that will go into some of the floral pieces that we're using. So it goes with my botanical kit. So it goes with my wildflower kit. You know, I'll pick some colors from a number of my kits, and I will have created the distress papers. So look for that. I will by the time this video comes up, I will make sure that the link to that distress paper pack is available. So we'll play with that. And those are things where I don't have to think too much. And I, go ahead and eat lunch, honey. That I can, she's on her next thing. That I can do those things easily. I don't have to think much when I'm working on sort of cookie cutter stuff. But it's pieces that you need, I need. It's not like I'm creating something that we don't need. Because we definitely need those things. Making sure all my pieces are where I want them to be. I'm at least gonna get the doily. Yeah, I have a heart doily in there. I have a green piece of avocado paper just for fun. We have this lovely embossed eco-dyed paper. I definitely have a soft spot for a shop in her eco-dyed. So she doesn't do it a lot, but when she does, like I got her pink kit and I got, you know, distress papers, and so we're going to use Crafty Cat's little cradle here. The only downside for this one for me personally is that because of an angle when I punch the holes, sometimes I have a hard time finding the holes on the other end to get the needle through, but I think that's more of a operator error. Sorry about my head. That's the only downside about doing this, is that you have to sort of look to see where you're going with it. And two, I do try to go a little farther sometimes, go a little deeper. So even though I use the skinniest needle I can find, I still have a hard time getting it through all the papers. I'm going to have to yank the needle out on the other end. Let's see, hold on one second. I know my hair's up in a ponytail. It is not great. Sorry, guys. I wanted to craft more than I wanted to do my hair today. Bummer, right? What? Crafting before hairdo? I don't know. How dare. Okay. So that's done. But it has been nice having that. The only difference is now is that I need to punch it through this too. Eek! Right? Because I'm sewing it all the way through and then covering it. Oh, okay, gotta go back. And I don't have that clip together. Let's see. All my clips. Lately, I've been clipping so many things together. And I had a project with a clip in it the other day, and now I can't find that clip. Oh, no. I definitely need to get more clips. I realized I need to then make sure this is clipped together so it's exactly where I want it. Yeah, the paper's where I want it, but now I gotta get these guys clipped together so I don't lose it again. So let's go through all of those layers. Again, I pick it up, push it down a little harder than I push down a little harder than what the Cradle allows, because I really want to make sure that hole's big enough for me to find and get the needle through. I definitely have issues with that, just me personally. Well, me personally, I have issues with that. And like I said, I try to use the skinniest needle they give me, but I'm using Gail's technique for this. I love it as much as I like the idea of sewing things together. Like I said, my I don't know, sometimes my sewing machine is not that reliable. I've had it since I was like 18 years old. And I really didn't start using it till after I had kids, of course, but then I started figuring out how to sew and hem and make, simple curtains. And I loved making cafe curtains for the house. It was the one thing I could do. I was just hemming it down and folding it in half and hemming it and turning it inside out and creating a pocket. I was done. I was so happy. See, this is where I have problems. Where I cannot, for the life of me, get a hold of this. Hold on, guys. And doing what I need to do. What's up, babe? Yes, I am. It's okay. Make your lunch and I'll be there in a moment. So, it's okay. Just... Alright, she's all, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm recording. Go make lunch. She has class in like 20 minutes. So I try to get her to get some lunch in between things. And yes, there's music in the background. So we'll see. I don't make money in my YouTubes. So yeah, they get mad at me about music. But, if there's a copyright issue, they think that the music's not classical enough or not old enough. Because once in a blue moon, it's a song that is instrumental, but just, it's like a well-known song, but it's instrumental. So, or it's a soundtrack or something. And I'm like, yeah, well, I don't make money yet, guys. So, all right, so we're having problems. I cannot seem to get to the other side of this hole to find what I'm looking for. So it moved, and that's why. There it is. Okay. So something shifted in the process, which is not good. There we go. And what I didn't want to do is that. Eek. As Gail says, try not to split your thread. That makes it hard to tighten it up later if it's split. There we go. Pull that through. Okay, we got it. Yay. Yeah, it's the outside or the inside's okay. Or the inside or the outside is sort of hard, so. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. Oh, designs and digitals and just having some chaotic energy and that I need to get rid of, and I just don't feel like sitting on the computer and doing digital work right now. Especially when I have so much of digital work printed out in my workbox. So, why not, right? All right, so we're going to do our best to tighten this up. I don't have to worry too much about how the outside looks because, like I said, we're going to cover it up, which I'm really stoked about. I'm really stoked about how that might turn out. Let's put this on this side. There we go. Now, I sort of used all the gems I had for the other kit, so I don't think we're going to do this in a way where, I think we're going to keep it tight. So I'm going to make a little bow on this, and then when you guys get it, if it's in the way of your writing, go ahead and just make another knot out of it and trim it short. And then you guys are good to go, right? Then you're all good. It is a little low on that part, I just realized, but okay. One part came off, so let's cross our fingers on the rest of it. It's a backside from there. I thought I had this upside down. Ho, ho, ho. That's a scary moment. Now, the nice thing about doing what I do for this, and I definitely highly suggest it, is that if you can do the cover last, in case you make an error, and two, if you do sew this in upside down, which I did not, thank God, you can literally just simply untie it, pull it out, untie it, pull it out, flip it around. You might have to repunch through your cover, but you won't have to repunch your holes in the signature. You just have to repunch it through whatever cover you have, which is why I said you don't ever try not to do your cover till you really feel comfortable that things are working in your favor, and then go ahead and do the cover. Once in a while I do the cover and I'm like, because I just know that everything else is pretty in tune and it's all good. But there we go, guys. There is our journal, 34 plus writing pages, and then everything else. All these other envelopes are covered and are ready for envelopes, are ready for pockets of multiple directions to place our ephemera. All right, so you know what? I am going to take a quick break again. We're going to do that whole fade in and out. And I'm going to get prepped and ready for the shapes that I want for the pockets. So you can see what my idea was. And then after that, once I have the pockets ready to go, I'll show you guys what and where I put them, how it works. And then I'll let you guys go. Okay? If it helps you, gives you an idea, is great. Keep watching. If not, thank you so much for watching, subscribing, commenting, tagging along. What's that? I know my face is away from the thing. Tagging along and just coming along for the journey as I make another journal here in January for Valentine's this time around. This is a definite Valentine journal. The other one is just a lovely January, February warm, loving edition of a book with more pages that has 64 total or 64 plus total pages and a lot of writing space. This one definitely has, like I said, 34 writing pages along with everything else. And we're going to have pockets of ephemera ready to go for you and a gorgeous cover to look at it. So, all right, we'll be right back. If you're joining, you're going to go through the whole journey with me. If not, I will see you next week. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the final leg of this video today as we are getting all the base pieces done for this journal. All right, so I went ahead and cut the pockets as I thought I'd want them or need them. Did a little layering on this one because I wanted to pull elements of the back pocket to this front one, so that it sort of made sense to everything I did. So as you can see, I received we found at Target way back when the long strips that, of course, that teachers used as name tags for kids' desks, right? And this was before COVID, so a good 3 years ago. And so I cut it in half and let the backside, which is pre-glued, down, and went ahead and glued the edges, because of course I trimmed it. And this is the goal. This is the goal, is to put all these cute little things that I am not, end up not using, ready to go in these pockets. Be words, whether it be labels, fussy cuts, little stuff that'll fit within there. And we did that for both front and back. So it's just to remind me, things will come like that. Things make it. I'll probably try to fussy cut as much as I can if I put it in here. So there you go. Now, some of these pockets are going to be super shallow, right? They're just going to be glued straight down for a nice thin layer of elements like belly bands, bookmarks, maybe an extra tag or an extra large journal card that doesn't really have a lot of decor on it. Doesn't need much. We're going to have this thin pocket here, but taller to obtain the larger stuff. Then we have a smaller pocket here for anything wider or multiples of journal cards. And I just went ahead and when I went to fold it, trim the edges so I can easily give it more of a wider pocket. And then so I did the reverse on the back. So I went ahead, cut the areas that I wanted, made the tabs on the back by just folding in the extra paper. I needed to sort of thin everything out to where we remove maybe the scalloped edges or whatever, and trim the corners. And distressed everything around the edges, really easy. And I definitely wanted the pockets sort of inside the pages, the width of the pages. I didn't want the pockets to go all the way to the edge. It just made things a little bulky. But the tabs give you the width that we need. And sometimes I pull up on it just a little bit. So there is that gap, that bubble that we need to be able to put multiple things inside here. So these are for journal cards. This pocket's going to be for quite a few journal cards, or some really decorative journal cards are going to go in here. We went ahead and did this already, but I may have to do a little bit more gluing. Thought it was cute. This did not stay in the kit. This was actually a little, I don't know. I don't remember if this stayed in the kit or not. I can't remember if this corner stayed or not, but I had it in my repertoire here of extra paper. Remember using it up. So I just went ahead and fussy cut it out. This is where I'm really bad. And I end up using up so much of my pocket. I can't do a straight line to save my life. I'm going up the side because we don't want anything to fall out. And we are going up. Now this one is just straight cut, except for a little bit on the one side. We're going to try to follow the paper. So hopefully there's a little bit of a pudge, but I'm not doing a full-blown like crazy. We are simply just leaving it pretty thin because this is already getting really bulky, right? And I do sort of, I don't want to do that. I want to put it in there so I know I can get in it, but I don't want to bunch it up too much because then we get that weirdness. So right now, and I definitely am so glad I did this clear pocket off camera. It's having problems with the glue. I put this on the wrong tab. At first I put it on the inside, and I don't want anything on the inside pages. I want to make it look like more like the inside of a book cover for the journal part. So plus keeping it flat so that when you're writing on this, you don't need, it sort of becomes your, it becomes your, what is that word? The board. Anyway, crafting, creative force. So it sort of becomes that kind of board for you to be able to write on and not have things be too bunchy. If we don't go too crazy on both sides of the ordeal here. So that is the goal. Like we're going to put large belly bands, which not that long, of course, but like put a belly band in here or washi tape or large journal cards that I think don't need to be decorated. We're going to put in these bigger pockets. So nothing on these because I want to make sure they're nice and flat, easy to use. On the back side, we have another pocket here. We're going to do a flatter pocket for any leftover. No tabs on this one. We're going to do like we sort of did on the other side. We're going to keep it pretty flat. If this is more just for thin cards I have left over. I've got vintage cards left over. I have rose cards left over. Whatever I might have left over. I didn't feel like decorating. But wanted to give you guys the option of, we're going to put them in here to hold. Remember, this is an ephemera holder. So I don't plan on you guys keeping a lot in here for very long. I am hoping that you'll put all these cute ephemera pieces decorated up in the journal itself. So, we'd want to make sure that you are easily doable right here. That we can put stuff in it, but we don't have to, it's not going to stay there for long. You may keep a journal card or two in here because it's really cute and it's really pretty and it looks awesome on the page. But we're hoping that you're going to put those journal cards in spots, make more pockets, make more journaling spots. We'll see. Or I may find out I don't have as much as I thought, just getting enough to barely decorate the outsides. Now here's the back side. This is where I took the Amour page, I took the other corner of it, and I went ahead and decorated this one with it. So I took a chunk, I made a little flag. I took what was in the opposite corner and fussy cutted it out and put it in here. So it sort of brings that pink to the front of the book. Because it's the only one it's the only pocket that's not collaged. But I wanted these areas of pockets where I really love the green and the burgundy and the imagery, and I wanted it present. So, yeah, that's sort of the reasoning. But this one's here. And I may decide to add a little more. I may decide to put a collage cluster maybe on this little area right up here. Maybe we'll make a collage stamp or something if I feel I really need to tie everything together later. But like I did before, I went ahead and folded in the sides to make the tabs, to make it a little deeper. But because this was sort of a thinner paper, it was a test print at the time, I did line the inside, big end of the pocket, with some paper so that it would withstand and hold the larger tag elements that I was going to put in here. This back page is hopefully going to be where I put the trifold. It's going to be where I put the double journal tag element like I put in the other one. The other journal had a trifold, a double tag pocket in it. So I want to put that one in here also. And I have another one. And of course the trifold will be in here. So we need a little bit more of a bellowed pocket. And the back page is always great to have that kind of weight because it is the back of the book and it's not going to have a huge, issue with it. So there we go. I'm trying to keep you in screen here. There we go. Okay, so I always like to put my little, I have a taller one, our little scoring whatever ordeal. But this definitely helps us get, this all in place. And then I know I had the bubble. I know I didn't put it down too tight and it's all good. So there we go, guys. So there's the simplicity of what this journal is. It is our double enveloped journal and ephemera holder creation. I gotta figure out a better name for that though. I probably will have one by the time I post this thing. But it's a Valentine envelope journal and ephemera holder. There we go. I knew there was a wording for it. I just had to think about it. So as we go along and I get the moments next week, I'll show you how the more decorative ephemera, it comes along. We'll go through that together and we'll decorate them up. I'll have it all ready to go. And then we'll know what's left over from all the little fussy cuts and all the ephemera. And we will load this up. We'll start filling this in full of journal cards and larger pieces that are standalone, ready to go. And then allows you to decorate and journal these pages as you see fit with what I have put in the ephemera holders. All Valentine based, it's ready to go, and you will have, you know, either a wonderful gift for someone who just wants to do a little bit of a decorating and wants to journal, or you put it together for yourself because you decide that you want something a little more. And the front will be fully decorated, front and back will be wrapped and decorated, and that will be either another video or I'll just show it off to you guys. If I really get a bug and I'm like, yeah, this is it, I will go ahead and say, here's the cover. We're working on the ephemera to put inside, whatever. But we'll definitely have one more video next week showing some creative moments before we do a reveal like we did with the other journal. So thank you so much for joining me in this a little bit longer craft today. But look what we got done with a little bit of hut and pecking and editing. I was able to show you a process of prepping a whole journal, the pages necessary, ready to go for the ephemera. And that is in itself is a huge accomplishment. So thank you all so much for joining me, Jolene and Jewel Design. Our Journal with Me day is Thursday. I believe it's going to be the 20th of January. Oh my God, the 20th already. Here we go. Another month out the door, right? So thank you so much for watching, loving, subscribing, commenting. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you'll continue to watch me. And then you'll go watch all those wonderful ladies that I mentioned. Gail, Laurette, Amy, and Tina, Tatty Treasures, and everybody else, for we are all working so hard to hopefully give you guys a sense of inspiration and creativity and just someone to, watch and feel a part of, right? So thank you again. Have a great day, and we'll talk real soon. I guess you really shouldn't want to be looking at that, huh? I guess I should show you something a little prettier than just a silly front cover. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.